Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Game Week 30 stream. There's no deadline stream, I should say. There's no blank game week, no double game week this week. Just a plain old boring game week. No more shed, the proper setup, decent internet. Now I've said this, the internet will probably fail, but right now it's looking pretty good. Start Castagna or Botman. Who have Leicester even got this week? Bournemouth. Oh, you got to start Castagna, right? That's easy. Bournemouth at home. Don't see any reason not to start him. I mean, don't get me wrong. Leicester defence is really bad. And Bournemouth have actually been attacking pretty well. But you've got to go for Castagna, right? If you're not going to play him against Bournemouth at home, when are you going to play him? Anyway, how are we all this morning? I've made my transfer. I don't often do that, but it looked like Haaland was going to go up in price. I don't know if I didn't actually check if Tony dropped in price, but that price drop didn't affect me. It was really just Haaland going up. And Tony didn't drop last night, by the way, even though it looked like he might do. Odegaard dropped again. He's now down to 6.7, so I'm leaking money on him, which isn't ideal. But no point getting rid of him. But yeah, Haaland looked like he was going up, so I bought him in. I don't necessarily need that 0.1, but you never know, and I was probably going to do it anyway, so that's locked in. I've got captaincy on Haaland. I don't know. There's part of me that's not really happy about it because I've kind of... Yesterday I was kind of confident about a Haaland start, but then you wake up because... I better put my light on. You wake up on deadline day where you've actually got to go through with the decision and suddenly confidence levels go down. And I'm like, yes, I do think Pep is going to want minutes in Haaland's legs. I definitely think that's going to happen. But that could be 30 minutes off the bench. It could be coming on at half time. And I know people say things like, well, we know what Haaland can do in 30 minutes. I get that. But if I told you now Haaland was only going to play 30 minutes, you'd captain Rashford or someone else, right? I know I would. But on the flip side, I'm too afraid of Haaland. I've been burnt too many times. So I'm probably just going to captain Haaland and just hope that he plays. I've decided to do Tony and Shaw to Haaland, a very cheap defender up to 4.1. Which one do you recommend? Is there even any... I'm going to have to look up 4.1 million defenders because I can't even think of any that play off the top of my head. Like 4.1. I mean, even like Tarkowski is 4.2. Emerson, I guess, at West Ham. There is I think Ant in the members... Patreon, the members Discord is a West Ham fan. He did say Emerson's probably not completely nailed on, like he might start 5 and 6, but I guess him at 4 million. He started the last 4 games. I don't know if there is anyone else really. Let me know. So foul, someone's saying in the chat. But how much? He's not. So foul's 4 million. When the hell did that happen? Hold up. He started the season at 4. Oh, no. Yeah, he started at 4. 4.5. Yeah, I mean, so far as well. So far and Emerson, but so far hasn't started the last 4. Is that about to change? Is there an injury there I don't know about? I can't think of any others, really. There ain't many that are actually less than 4.1. 4.1 or less. I guess you take a punt on Emerson. So far hasn't started a game for a while in the league, so unless something's changed, I'd probably just go with so far. Bench Mac 10 or Matoma. I think I'd stick with Matoma as my number 1 Brighton midfielder. Don't get me wrong. The thing is, though, I do feel like I'm being a bit contradictory because someone asked me yesterday for the final thoughts video, what do I think about playing March ahead of Fernandes? Because obviously Fernandes is quite likely to play that kind of deeper role today where he's not... Like, someone's going to be ahead of him, like Sabitzer or Fred or someone like that, or maybe even McTominay, who knows? And so why am I not playing March? And I kind of said I don't like benching penalty takers, but when someone asks me about Matoma or McAllister, I always say I'd play Matoma. Part of the reason is there's always that slight worry that McAllister will also play a bit deeper, right? It's a bit like Fernandes. But I think I've said for a while now that my order is probably Matoma, McAllister, then March. I think I'm just going to stick to it. I just don't... Like I said yesterday, week to week, this is not enough that really changes to kind of change my opinion. So, I'll say Matoma. Play March or Isak. Surely Isak's going to start, isn't he? Brentford away. I feel like Isak's better if he starts. But there is a doubt there. So if you want to play it absolutely safe, I would go for March. But if both of them are going to start, I think I prefer Isak. I guess the problem with Newcastle is if Isak starts on Wilson's bench, Isak is definitely coming off early. Whereas March usually plays good minutes every game. I'm going to say Isak, though. Because if Wilson doesn't start, then Isak's on penalties. I want Haaland. Do I straight... Oh, no. I don't like all the... I'm going to hate all these how do I get Haaland questions in. Because I'm going to... So some people I'm going to say just go without him, and it's going to be horrible to watch. If you want Haaland, just get Haaland, by the way. Sometimes in FPL, you should just reduce the stress. I want Haaland. Do I straight swap Kane to Haaland or swap Tony for Haaland and sell someone else to get funds for it? Not sure who to downgrade. I have the same team as you, pretty much. Yeah, I mean, there's not really anyone I would want to sell in my team, I don't think. I mean, Chilwell down to someone, but it's not really a move you want to go out of your way to make. I feel like if Kane to Haaland is your only way to get Haaland, would I do it? Maybe. I guess the thing to kind of keep reiterating during this stream is there's not a guarantee that Haaland will start. There is a chance, no matter how small, that he is just benched, right? I'm trying to think, if I had this team and the only way to get Haaland was to sell Kane, would I do it? I feel like fear would get me, and I would probably do it. Like, I know next week he's got Bournemouth at home, but Haaland, if this is your only way to get Haaland over the next couple of weeks, then it doesn't really matter a huge amount that Kane's got Bournemouth at home because Haaland has got Leicester at home, right? Which is pretty much as good given how great Haaland is. I think I'm going to begrudgingly say if people want to do Kane to Haaland, I would probably go for it. I think if you're feeling brave, though, I would stick and hope for the best. I wonder how many people's problems would have been solved by selling Saka last week. And I know the team news kind of swayed things a little bit, but this is what I was tweeting before we even knew Saka wasn't starting. That the solution to my problems was to sell him and not Odegaard, and just hope that Odegaard can keep up with him. And so far, he's 5 points ahead. Got a bit lucky there, obviously. So I'm hoping that continues going forward. Bench Mac 10 or Fernandes? I think Mac 10. Obviously, Fernandes has also got a better fixture this week. 2 Brighton mids or 1 plus Bruno? I mean, I've gone for 1 plus Bruno, so I guess I'll stick with that. Shaw to Ake Martinez. Not for a hit. I wouldn't do it for a hit. I think there was embargoed quotes that came out at 10:30 last night, and Ten Hag said something like, in fact, I can just find the tweet. Eric Ten Hag on how long... basically, right, someone actually messaged me this before the embargoed quotes come out, but I couldn't say it. But he said, essentially, in the embargoed section, Ten Hag was pushed on Luke Shaw. So he said, how long is Shaw out for and what kind of injury does he have? He said, second part of this question, we don't call, it's personal. So he won't say what the injury is. The first part, how long he's out for, I don't think in this moment is in today for Everton at home. But we have to see how it progresses. I think he can be back quite quickly. So it doesn't sound that bad, to be honest. So I think I wouldn't be taking Luke Shaw out for a hit, that's for sure. If it's a free transfer, then you could get Ake in. But I guess Man City midfielders, I'm always a little bit worried about them. Saka and Tony out for Haaland and Odegaard. There we go, see? Got to keep Saka instead of Odegaard. I feel like if you're taking hits for Haaland, I'd probably just captain someone else. Just captain Rashford. Keep Tony and Saka for now. I guess one thing to think about for those of you that are wondering how to get Haaland in is what changes next week. Okay, so if you don't take the hit this week or you don't transfer out certain players this week, do the moves get better for you next week, right? So in that situation where you're having to sell Saka and Tony, if you roll the transfer next week, can you sell different players instead? that might be better for you long term. Because I don't think anyone wants to get rid of Saka right now unless they absolutely have to. So I mean, gut feeling on Saka and Toney for Haaland and Odegaard is probably not. But if Haaland starts, obviously it could work out even for a hit. Does Shaw absence affect Rashford? I mean, I guess Man United are better with Shaw in it, but it wouldn't affect him so... Like, Luke Shaw being out wouldn't really massively change my opinion on Rashford captain, to be honest. Isak or Toney out for Haaland? Good question. I mean, Toney's guaranteed to start this week. Isak isn't, although I think most people would agree he probably will. Toney's a liability in terms of 1 yellow card away. So if you sell Isak and then Toney gets suspended, what's the plan? But then Isak, can we rely on him now long term? And Toney's got a better fixture this week. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like I'd probably still sell Toney and hope he gets a yellow card. But if he doesn't get the yellow card, he's just going to keep playing. And Brentford's fixtures are all right. I think, okay, here's what I would say. Is if you sell Isak and then Toney gets suspended, if there's a good plan for that situation, I would probably sell Isak first, I think. But Toney is a bigger liability, so he should probably be the one that goes. There's probably something I'm missing there, though. Henry out for Diaz or Mings for a -4? Probably not, I don't think. Already took Shaw out. Haaland for a hit or not? I think if you can do it in one move, maybe. Like if you can do Toney or Havertz to Haaland for -4 and you want to captain him, then yeah. If you're not going to captain him, I probably wouldn't take the hit. Toney only needs 3 more games. Surely he's aware. I'm sure he is aware, but doesn't mean he's not going to get a yellow card. I mean, I think he's averaging 1 every 4 games or something like that in the league this year. Surely Maddison captain consideration. Now, Maddison's good, but I don't think he's part of the captaincy conversation, really. I mean, ahead of who? Like, ahead of Rashford? I mean, would I have Maddison ahead of Watkins? Maybe. Remember when Nathan Ferguson was all in our squads? He's finally due back next week. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Was it like 2 seasons ago? Where he was in all our Game Week 1 squads. I think we all switched to Mitchell instead, didn't we? Maddison's done nothing. He's not shooting a huge amount either. Oh, I wonder if that's hay fever. Hay fever kicking in. Try not to sniff too much. Benching headache. Henry, Brentford or Estepinian? I actually looked at the when I was doing the member stream yesterday. I was looking at the clean sheet odds from FPL Salah quite a lot. So, and I think Brentford and Brighton are quite close. Yeah, Brentford 25%, Brighton 26%. I think with Henry and Estepinian, I'd be tempted just to play Estepinian because more attacking. Did we switch to Wan-Bissaka, did we? I mean from an FPL point of view, though. Odegaard or McAllister, can't start both. I'm going to say Odegaard. Start Matoma or McAllister, Matoma. I think okay, I'm going to put it into the starting order. I'm going to put Matoma, Odegaard, McAllister, March. There you go. Put it in the ticker that no one looks at because it needs to be down the bottom apparently. Fernandes to Greenish and or Henry to Mings. I don't think there's a need for a hit for those moves. I mean, if you have to do one, I'd probably do Henry to Mings. But I don't feel like you need to necessarily do either transfer this week. You could just roll. Bench one of March, Matoma and Havertz. Do you know what? There's part of me that wants to say Havertz. Like, he's got an easier fixture, but I just think Chelsea not really functioning that well. I don't know. They did create quite a few chances against Chelsea, against Liverpool. Just couldn't get the ball in the back of the net. You just don't know what Lampard's going to do. Like, is it like? I'm sure there's going to be. I'm sure Mason Mount is going to come in. Right? I think most people think that Mason Mount is coming into the team, and if Mount is coming into the team, they're probably going to switch to a back four. Like, who would he replace in the last lineup? I don't know. I could be wrong on that. But is there a chance that Havertz doesn't start? Possibly. I think I saw on. I think it was on Tifo. They said that last time Lampard was there, Havertz was kind of in and out of the team, but I think he had COVID as well. So that might have been, I think that's what they said. That might have been a reason why. But I think I would bench Havertz out of March, Matoma and Havertz. The only reason I'm even the only reason I guess I'm slightly hesitating is because it's very hard to think that a fixture's not hard when... Oh, sorry. Like, I guess when I see Spurs away, I still see it as a hard fixture, just like Liverpool away. I think given how Brighton have played so far, or recently, and how Spurs have played, they can absolutely do something against us. So I think I'd bench Havertz, but then Havertz is a penalty taker as well. Oh, I'm going to say Havertz. It's close. If you think that's wrong, go something else. I did Havertz and Shaw to Robertson and Martial. Am I crazy? All I'll say is, I won't say you're crazy. I'll just say they are probably not moves that I would have done. Because there is no guarantee that Martial even starts. Like, obviously, like, I think most people, again, would agree that he's first choice, but he ain't fit. And I think before the last game, Ten Hag said that he's not in a position to start at the moment. So that might change for this weekend, but it's not guaranteed. And even if he does start, he'd probably be injured by the end of the game. So... crazy, I'll say interesting. How about that? Start one of Saka, Tony, or Mac 10. Only one. I'll probably start Saka. Havertz or Tony out for Haaland. Oh, okay. I free hit in 32. Tony's the bigger risk due to suspension, but Havertz, Chelsea just look a bit rubbish right now. I think I would probably... like, let's just say Tony's not one yellow card away from a suspension. I'd probably say take out Havertz. But I guess, again, you've got to think, what if you take out Havertz, then Tony gets suspended next week? Is there a plan? Is that going to affect future transfers? Stuff like that. If it's not, I'd probably take out Havertz as well. Imagine not having Salah, I know. Absolute nightmare. Isak and Shaw out for Botman, Mings, and Haaland -4. I mean, I don't hate it if you're going to captain him. I guess because Isak could be a bit of a risk going forwards, but I don't think we should like knee-jerk too heavily with Isak. He's probably going to start this weekend. I guess I'll just say I don't hate it if you're going to captain Haaland. Also, thanks for the first ever super chat from your good self. Saka or Bruno to Grealish for -4. Neither. I'd probably just keep both. If you have to sell one of them, then if you're on free hit 32, I'd probably sell Saka, but I wouldn't want to do that. And if you're not on free hit 32, I'd sell Bruno. Should I do Tony and Watkins for Haaland and Johnson? I have a feeling that Haaland will do something crazy. Look at his fixtures. This is the last very good one for Watkins. I think Watkins' fixtures are pretty good, to be honest with you. I think given how he and Villa are playing, I know what you're saying. Like, on paper, Nottingham Forest at home is definitely probably the best fixture of the next four. But I mean, it's another home game next week. Newcastle defence good, of course. Brentford away in 32, and Fulham at home in 33 is pretty good as well. So I think after 33, it does get a lot tougher for Watkins. But I don't like the idea of selling him for a hit ahead of Nottingham Forest at home. That just feels like quite risky. If that's your only way to get Haaland in, you really want to... like, I guess my main point for everyone thinking about getting Haaland in this week, I completely get that there are crazy things you want to do to get him, and I also think that you should do those crazy things if it makes you happier having him in your team, because watching Man City without Haaland is just not fun. But Watkins doesn't sit right with me, to be honest. Like not like I just feel like when I've done it before, haven't I? Last year with Rafinha taking him out, was it before Norwich or something like that? You take players out that you know are going to start. Like it's a bit different if you're taking Ian Atcho out before Bournemouth at home because there's a chance he won't start. But you're taking players out before Bournemouth at home, Nottingham Forest at home. That could be disaster because Watkins is guaranteed to start and on penalties. So I got to be honest, I don't like it. Obviously I've sold Tony and there's reasons for that. But even Tony this week is definitely going to start, right? Difficult fixture, I guess. But Watkins, I don't like it. I don't particularly like it. But if that's your only way to get him, you could go for him. Alisson over Edison after game week 32 for the rest of the season. No, I think I'd prefer to go for Edison. Much better defence. Like Liverpool defence hasn't been good this year. Obviously, that could change to get players back from injury. Thiago apparently is back now. Hopefully he can build up fitness. That will help Liverpool. But Edison also has an extra fixture after game week 32. So Liverpool double in 34, but that is it for the rest of the season. Man City will double again. And it's just a better defence. So I think the only thing with Alisson is because Liverpool defence is worse, right? He's gonna face more shots, and therefore he might get more saves, more bonus, and stuff like that. But if we're talking about clean sheets, which should be the main thing with goalkeepers, there's much more chance, I would say, of Edison getting clean sheets for the rest of the season than Alisson. For what it's worth, Alisson's a great option. Like he's probably, I was going to check there. He's the second highest scoring keeper. Like he's 26 points ahead of Edison. Maybe that will continue for the rest of the season. But I think if you look at Man City's fixtures, there's some really good ones in there, and the extra double. I don't know. I got to be honest. I've had this plan to get Edison in game week 31 for a while. And it's just part of me thinking, I know I'm going to get punished by a cheap goalkeeper. I just know it's going to happen. I just don't know which one it is. That's the problem. David, Super Chat, thank you very much. First ever one. Ganman, start Estupiñán or White? I think I'd start Estupiñán. I think both Brighton and Arsenal will probably concede. And I guess Arsenal is the better defence. But I feel like Liverpool attack is better than Spurs. And I think Estupiñán's probably slightly more attacking than Ben White. Although, to be fair, Ben White has done pretty well from that right-back spot. But I'll say Estupiñán. That's my kind of gut call. And then 2 of Solanke, Mitoma, March. I don't know if I'd want to bench Solanke this week against Leicester away, especially with how Bournemouth are playing. Nailed on, great minutes, penalties. But Brighton is so good. I'm going to say Mitoma or March. Hope for the best. Start Maddison or Kane. I mean, if you can only start one of them, I'd start Kane, but I would not want to be benching Maddison. And if you're benching Maddison for a Brighton midfielder, I think that's the wrong call, personally. But good luck with the decision. Thank you very much, member. 21 months. Do I remember your first ever super chat? No, if I'm honest. I'm not even sure if I could go back and check. But thanks to whoever it was. Adam Anderson, first ever super chat. Sell Kane for Haaland. I think if you're trying to chase rank, like if you're not in a position anywhere near where you want to be, I feel like the move is to hold Kane and just hope, because you know he's going to start and play 90 minutes. If you're not worried about that and you're just going to be happy with Haaland, then you could sell Kane. It's just something about the move that doesn't quite sit right, but I also get why people are doing it. So if you want to do it, go for it. If you're not worried, like if you're not trying to chase a huge kind of deficit or whatever, then yeah, maybe do it. I will say I'm very happy I don't have to sell Kane. I'm so in my team. I'm probably going to get a red arrow, right? I haven't had one for a while. I've got no Saka. I'm so glad I didn't have to sell Kane. The thing is, I don't even like Brighton at home. Is an okay? It's an okay fixture because it's Kane and it's at home. But obviously Brighton have been pretty good this year. It's really the Bournemouth fixture I'm more worried about. And Haaland's got just as good a fixture next week anyway. His Leicester defence is rubbish. Joe, first ever super chat, thank you very much. Pick 3 between Saka, Odegaard, Maddison and Mitoma. I'd bench Odegaard out of those 3. There's no contest between Saka and Odegaard. You've got to play Saka. Maddison's got Bournemouth at home. And I do just about prefer Mitoma to Odegaard, but it is quite close, to be honest with you. I'd probably bench Odegaard out of those three. Definitely play Saka and Maddison. Super Chat missed bench March or Ricardo Pereira. Where's that? I don't think I missed any. Are you lying to me? If you're lying to me, I'm definitely not going to answer that now. For the cheek. There wasn't one about Ricardo and thingy. I see what you've done there, though. I almost want to answer the question just for the hustle. I can't remember what the question was now. Though. I've lost it in the chat. It was start Ricardo or someone else. What a sneaky way to try to get a question out. You got to respect that, right? That's pretty clever. Answer it for the hustle. I can't remember what it was though. It was like start Ricardo or someone else. Start Raya or Steele. So Spurs away or Newcastle at home. I'll probably start Raya, I think. Why not Shaw just in case he starts? But what if he's benched and he comes on? I think sometimes you just got to take managers at their word. Ten Hag said he's out for today. He's out. It's the early kickoff as well, so we might get some news, possibly. Well, I've just seen Sam Martin tweet, who's usually clued up with Leicester. Now he's not saying this is definitely the team, but he said genuinely don't know the team, so this is not definitive, right? So it's not 100% accurate necessarily. He said the one working its way around the forums, this is for Leicester, has Ricardo right wing. So whoever just asked about Ricardo, if he's going to play right wing, maybe he's the one. Vardy up top and Maddison central behind. Everson goalkeeper. Interesting. Unsure on Solanke versus Mac 10 and Estupiñán versus Henry, currently on the first one in each. Yeah, I think I'd play Estupiñán ahead of a Brentford defender. I'm only benching Estupiñán because I've got a Newcastle one. I'm also kind of unsure about Solanke versus the Brighton midfielders. Like my initial instinct is just to play the Brighton player, but they do have a tougher fixture. Solanke gets to play Leicester away, and they have been attacking very well. So I don't know. Maybe I'm backtracking. I said it on Planet FPL when I went on there. I said that I'd want to play Solanke this week if I had him. So I guess playing him ahead of one of the Brighton midfielders is probably okay. I don't know. I feel like it's one of those like fence. You could just sit on the fence either way. The way people ignore underlying stats when it's certain teams is bizarre. If it's Man City with the same stats that Brighton have, it would be triple up on City attack, yet benching a Brighton mid is suggested. It's not quite the same though, right? Like, March is not as good as like a Foden or a Mahrez. And also the fixture matters. And also, Brighton attack is very, very good, but it's not as good as Man City attack. So it's not quite the same. But also, like, we've got good. I think you've got to remember, we are in a position where a lot of us have either just bench boosted or have done recently. So we're set up with good squads. So you've got to bench a good player. So it's all well and good saying don't bench Solly March, but who do you bench instead? All right? I mean, some people might say just bench Fernandes. And to be honest, if you want to do that, I'm not really hugely against it. I don't like benching penalty takers, but if Fernandes plays deep again, March could be better. I think March and Odegaard is close, but am I really going to play March ahead of Mitoma, Rashford, Kane, Watkins or Haaland? Absolutely not. So it's just one of those things. We've just got good squads right now, so someone good has to be benched. And you've just got to accept that's going to happen. Obviously, if I could play March ahead of Botman, I absolutely would. Absolutely would. Is Watkins captain suicide? No, he's got Nottingham Forest at home. I think there's better captains, but it's not that bad. I think you missed my super chat like 20 minutes ago. Oh, did I actually miss one? Oh God, I might have actually missed one. Had 2 free transfers. Yeah, I did. Nick, I apologise. I actually did miss that one. Fair play. I had 2 free transfers in Haaland, so made luxury moves. Odegaard to Grealish and Kepa to David De Gea. Free hit 32, bench boost 34. Good moves or not? Oh, you already had Haaland. Yeah, because you can get Arsenal players back on free hit 32. Kepa to De Gea. I'm not sure that was a move that needed to be made. I would have maybe just rolled, to be honest, and just done it next week if you needed to, but not a bad move. Bench 2 of Estepinian, Zinchenko or Henry. Probably Zinchenko and Henry, I think. Haaland will be a sub. He might be. I think one of the reasons I bought in Haaland, because we're probably not going to get early team news, but if we do and he's benched, then I'll probably just bench him and play Solly March instead. Yes, okay, it's not great, but it's not the end of the world. Should I bench March or Gakpo? I mean, you've still got Gakpo. I'd probably bench Gakpo, I think. Like, he probably will start this week, but it's not a guarantee, I guess. Probably will, though. Probably will. But I guess you just go with March, the certainty, right? Play Martinez or Kepa. I mean, Nottingham Forest at home. Got to play Martinez, I think. Not even a thing about Chilwell. Plays Zinchenko or Estepinian. I think I'd play Estepinian. I don't know, it's a tough one because Arsenal defence is obviously so good, one of the best in the league, but they're probably going to be missing Saliba again. And I just backed Liverpool to score at Anfield. It's not even, like I've said loads of times before, it's not even about thinking Liverpool are definitely going to win or anything like that. I just backed them to score 1 goal. So, I mean, look, don't get me wrong. I think Brighton will probably concede as well, but I think there's more chance of a clean sheet there. And Estepinian's pretty attacking. Rationale behind bench and setup. Tony Scary. Rationale behind bench and setup. Oh, Estepinian. Just because I think Newcastle got a slightly better chance at clean sheet. That's all really. There's not much in it. There is part of me that just thinks play Estepinian because he's more attacking than Botman. But I think it is a slightly better fixture. I've got to be honest. I think Arsenal, Brighton, Brentford, and Newcastle will probably all concede. To be honest with you, so maybe I should just play Estepinian. But that is why. If Shaw injured game week 31, will you remove him and for who? Probably not. Not if he's likely to be back for 34. If I do sell him, it will probably be for a Man City defender. But I just don't know if I want to go there. To be honest. Likely player to go onto your wall this season. I don't know. We'll see. If there's some player that shoots me into the top 10k, top 25k or something. I don't know. The problem is most of my team is most of my transfers are fairly locked now for not the rest of the season, but maybe up until like game week 34, 35. And none of the players that I'm looking to bring in are probably going to do anything exciting, right? I mean, Botman's scoring. Okay, even if he scores once and gets a 15 point, it's not really enough to go on the wall, to be honest. I don't know, maybe we won't get any new people for the wall. Maybe it's been that kind of season for me. Ake and Alisson cheaper, though, and same points potential. Than what? Than Edison and who? Alisson's good. I like Alisson, by the way. I'm just saying, if you're picking one or the other, I'm going Edison. Allows 3 Brighton, 3 City, 3 Miam, 2 United, 2 Newcastle defenders, Watkins, Chilwell, 3. Yeah, if you want to go for it, go for it. Honestly, there's nothing wrong with it. Like, as long as you're basically covering most of the main teams of the double game, it's perfectly fine to go a different route. And even with one less fixture, Alisson might outscore Edison. Like he already has done so far this season. Kepa, Trippier. Okay, your whole team. What do you think? Great. I mean, yeah, great. I'd probably play Estepinian ahead of Zinchenko, Mitoma, Rashford, Saka, Madison. You got no premiums whatsoever. No Salah, no Haaland, no Kane. Interesting, but all pretty good fixtures. How do we know Alvarez won't start? We don't. We don't know he won't start. I mean, he could start. He might start whether Haaland starts or not, to be honest. You just don't know. John, thank you very much. Niall, is Haalandless suicide? No, not necessarily. No free hit 32 and need transfers to get to 11 starters. I would say, depending on what moves you would have to make, it would be okay to get Haaland and only have 10 in 32, but it might not work for your team. So Haaland in-out would cost me 8 points. Yeah, but you could just get him in and just go with 10. I guess the thing to consider is, who is that extra player you won't have in game week 32? If it's someone good, like genuinely good, then yeah, maybe just don't do it and just hope for the best. If it's like, I don't know, if it's like a Botman versus Spurs away, or is it Spurs at home? Spurs at home, innit? You know, is that worth just not getting Haaland back just because you'd have 10 instead of 11? Probably not. That's just an example, but that's the kind of thing I'd be thinking about. Would you start Joelinton or McAllister? McAllister. Did you have Joelinton for last week? Surely not. 2 goals? No way. Dale, that is the worst troll attempt I think I've ever seen. Like, how would that even work? Like, I know the players for all the teams. Most of them, anyway. There's probably some teams with squads with players on the bench I wouldn't know, but not for Chelsea, I don't think. Love these deadline streams. Thank you. Peace and love from Oslo. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure to give the stream a like if you enjoy it. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't done already. Because why not? Please make a free hit 32 draft. No point. No point. I mean, I already did one. If you go and search on Twitter, let's talk _FPL and then free hit 32. I've already put one together, but there's no point in doing it too much until we get to 32, right? Bench one of Fernandes, Martinelli or March. Martinelli with space against a weak pool defence. March creating volumes and is very due. Fernandes on pens but probably playing deep. I feel like you've already made your decision. I feel like from the way you've posed that question, you want to bench Fernandes. So you should bench Fernandes. Who would I bench? Possibly Martinelli, but I get it, right? If Trent plays, Martinelli could destroy him. But yeah, I feel like you want to bench Fernandes. So go and bench Fernandes. Seb needs to raise funds for Haaland. Shaw to a 4.8 million defender or Henry to a 4 million defender and keep Shaw. I mean, you could do Shaw to Martinez, I guess, and keep that Man United defender and just hope it works out. I mean, Shaw could keep being out and Martinez is alright next week. West Ham have got a couple of 4 million defenders. Emerson, you could go there, but outside of that, there's not a huge amount of good options. I guess West Ham do have another double in 34. I'd really want to know Shaw was going to be back soon, though, to warrant going to a 4 million defender, I think. Guess it depends how often you got to play that player. If you own Salah, would you consider him for captaincy? Probably not. I mean, I wouldn't ever write Salah off. At home, even against Arsenal, could do well, but I don't think I'd be captaining him ahead of Rashford or Haaland or something like that. Glad I never sold Haaland, watching everyone scramble around to get him back. I'm really glad I sold Haaland. I got 22 points from Watkins in 2 game weeks where Haaland didn't even play. I guess if you kept Haaland, you would have got someone off the bench last week, unless you were bench boosting, but I'm really glad I sold Haaland. Like, the plan was to get Watkins. He's got 22 points in 2 game weeks. And now I've got Haaland back for Tony, who hopefully will get suspended soon. But I get it. For some people, it hasn't worked out quite that well. Like, some people would have gone to Havertz. He hasn't done much. Now they've priced themselves out, possibly. But for me, it's worked out pretty nicely. Do you think other content creators will tune in to get early team news after last week? No, I don't think so. Like, people will just go to their chat and tell them. They don't need to tune in. And also, it's Man United, so no one's really as worried, right? We all know pretty much that Shaw is out, De Gea is going to start, Rashford's going to start, Fernandes is going to start. Excuse me, and therefore, you don't really need to get early team news from Man United. And it's very unlikely we're going to get team news for Haaland. I don't have anyone for Man City anyway. No one. No, I mean, feel free to message me if you've got the Haaland news or not. I know I won't even bother checking now because loads of people will just send random messages. But yeah, I don't think we're going to get early team news, to be honest. I am just double checking though, just in case. Ooh. If it was the 4 million, then would purely be bench for and get to keep sure. Hamstring injury is not all that quick to heal, though. We don't know if the thing is, we don't know if it is a hamstring injury. Ten Hag wouldn't tell us. Yeah, I feel like I mean, who are you selling to the 4 million? Guess that's the other question. Who scores more this week, Maddison or Grealish? If I was free hitting, I would have Maddison ahead of Grealish, I would say. Bench João Felix or March? I mean, João Felix is probably going to play in it. I don't think Lampard will bench him. I'd probably play March, I think. Is that crazy? Are we all really that? I mean, is Lampard going to come in? It's just going to be a masterclass. Oh, I don't mind selling Henry, to be honest. I'd be tempted to go that route. Brett, new member, thank you very much. Yogesh, -4, Ings to Haaland. Ben me to Chilwell, or just the first? Just the first, I think. Ings to Haaland seems like a pretty good move. Saka to Fernandes for -4. Nope. No way. Saka's great. Saka's great. I'd love to have Saka instead of Fernandes this week. Eze is a sub 6 million. Free hit 32, wildcard 34. Help get Haaland. How much is Eze, though? Are you maxed out on Brighton players? Because I'd much rather get a Brighton player than Eze. It's 5.4. I mean, Palace do have really nice fixtures to end the season, so you could go for him, but he's not really one of those players that strikes me as a great FPL option, to be honest. And I'd probably rather have a Brighton midfielder. Even with the fixtures they've got, it's just a good long-term move. Oh, wildcard 34. Interesting. Okay. I mean, Leeds away, Southampton away. I guess there's worse punts. There's worse punts. Feels like minimising potential damage in getting Haaland, but captaining Rashford, Watkins, ranked 6k. Thoughts? I feel like to minimise the potential damage, you would captain Haaland, no? Because he's probably going to be the highest captain player this week. Yeah, early team news on Eriksen starting would be important for Bruno. That's true. That is true. But I don't think most people are going to bench Bruno Fernandes anyway. And even if Eriksen starts, I don't think they're going to... I don't think they're going to captain him or anything like that. So I don't think it really matters. It'd be nice to know, but I don't think it matters too much for FPL. Yeah, I'm not saying no one is going to bench Fernandes, but I don't think most people will. So I'd probably... I mean, rank 6k... I mean, I guess you just captain who you think is the best option. If you think that's Haaland, just go for him. Sahaj, thank you very much. Rahul for Super Chat, thank you very much. Not mentioned Gundogan, not even in contention. Not for me. And I've seen a lot of people that like him. I think he's started quite a few games recently. I don't know. I just feel like we go through this all the time, right? Oh, this is the Man City midfielder to get right now. And it just changes so often. To be fair, Gundogan's only been benched once since game week 20 against Spurs. And he has started quite a lot. But will there be a game at some point where he gets benched? Probably. Same as Grealish. I don't know. I know there's other content creators out there. They're always trying to land the Man City midfielder before everyone else gets him. And maybe this is the week to go for players like Gundogan and Grealish. But I just don't want the hassle of them, to be honest with you, which is why I've not really mentioned them. He started a lot, but will that continue? Maybe. Can I tell you that? No, definitely not. Can I do a captain poll? Yeah, absolutely. Game week 30. Oh, I put 20. I'm just going to put Watkins in, same as yesterday. Do, 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 do. Yeah, not seeing any early team news just yet. Waiting for that Ericsson news. Would be nice, to be fair. It'd be good to see him back, but I suspect he's been out for so long he'd just be in the squad. Bruno to McAllister bench to fund Tony to Harden -4 or roll. I'd be tempted to just roll, especially if you've got a better way to get Harden next week. Your strategy if you did not have free hit. I wouldn't have sold my Arsenal players. I would go back in time and not sell my Arsenal players. Tony to Haaland and pick one of Shaw to Martinez -4, Saka to Grealish -4. Shaw to Martinez, I think. Thank you very much for the first ever super chat. Arsenal captains. No, not really. I mean, I never bet against Arsenal because they're great, but I don't think they're part of the captaincy conversation this week. How bad on a scale of 1 to 10 is Saka captain? I don't think it's that bad. I just think there's better options, that's all. Kind of nice having it last game fixture of the game week. Hate lunchtime captain for Rashford and no way of getting to Haaland. Look, no, I'm never going to sit here and tell you that Saka is a bad option because he's great. So if you want to captain Saka, go for it. It's not really what I would be thinking this week, but I just feel like for everything we've seen this season, Arsenal, we said this on a Twitter space yesterday, Arsenal should go and beat Liverpool, right? They could easily win that game like 3-1. And maybe it would be a bit of a shock if Liverpool ended up winning and they kept a clean sheet or they restricted Arsenal to just one goal. But I don't think it would be a complete shock if Liverpool finally turned up and the players they've got finally, played some football and did well. So I just can't bring myself to captain players in games like that. Especially, the thing is, it's not even just that I hate Saka against Liverpool, because I don't. I wish I had him this week. But it's more that there's so many other good options. Like Rashford against Everton at home, Watkins against Nottingham Forest at home, Kane in a home fixture against Brighton, Haaland as well, obviously. There's just so many options. Start Matoma in March or bench one for Isak. I feel like I would play Isak ahead of March if we think he starts, and I think he probably will. If you don't want to take the risk of him being benched again, then I would just play the Brighton players. -4 Shaw to James. I don't think so, unless you've got a defender you really want to bench. Start Dunk or me. I'd probably start Dunk, I think. I got to be honest, I'm tempted to play Estepinian. There's part of me that's just tempted to play, because I think Newcastle are going to concede. I think Spurs probably concede as well, but Estepinian is more attacking. It's just the clean sheet. It's just the clean sheet odds that got me thinking I shouldn't do that. And also, Spurs Brighton is the 3:00 game today in Ireland, so I could watch it. I think that's the only thing I'm thinking about changing with this team, is maybe playing Estepinian ahead of Botman. You think everybody but City will concede? Everyone. Nah, Liverpool aren't conceding to Arsenal. They should probably play March. Bench one of March, Tony or Madison. Probably March. Faizy, with free hit 32, wildcard 34, and 1 free transfer. Do I do Shaw to a Man City defender or save the transfer to do 2 free transfers next week and play one of Estepinian and Gabriel? Well, I guess you tell me, right? Is there... Thanks for being a member for 1 month, by the way. If you've got 2 free transfers next week, is there something interesting you can do? Because if not, you probably just take the points now and do Shaw to a Man City defender, knowing that when you get to game week 34, when there's a double, if Shaw is back, you can wildcard him in. If he's not, happy days, you just go somewhere else. So in your case, if you don't need Haaland, you already got him, and you've got nothing special to do next week with 2 free transfers, I would just do Shaw to a Man City defender, yeah. And just hope you get the right one. You move from Botman to Estepinian and feel better about it. Oh, it's tempting, isn't it? I think part of the thing that's playing on my mind is I've gotten rid of Tony, so if I get double Newcastle defence, how good will that feel? And obviously I'm expecting Kane to score. So that is playing on my mind, but I don't know if Estepinian is kind of that much worse. Because he's just more attacking. The only thing is, I feel like maybe I haven't watched a huge amount of... I've watched a few Brighton games, but has he been attacking in the last couple of games? I'm gonna look. In fact, I'm gonna look it up right now. Has he been as attacking? There was he almost got an assist last game actually against Bournemouth. Fairly good chance. I can't remember who took the shot. Let's have a look now. See you when you get there. 0.3 expected assist. 0.3, 0.1, 0.1, 0.2. I mean, it's all right. It's all right. I don't like making last minute changes unless there's something really. I guess I have been kind of half thinking about Estepinian anyway. I don't know. I'll think about that a little bit more. 1 March or Martinelli. 2. Oh, March or Martinelli. I'm gonna say March. No, I don't know. Oh, I don't know. Would I have? Okay, do you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna check whether Fantasy Football Scout have got Martinelli in the predicted lineup. Presumably they do. I'm going to say Martinelli. I'm going to put him... I think Martinelli is just as good as Odegaard, if not slightly better. So I'm going to say Martinelli ahead of March. Estepinian... I would definitely play Estepinian ahead of a Brentford defender. I think Newcastle defenders are better than Brentford ones this week. And I'm even considering playing him ahead of Botman. Liverpool trying to relegate Everton by losing to the bottom 9. Yeah, possibly. I want to do Felix to Watkins, but I haven't looked forward to the next fixtures. Is there anyone I need for next week? Haaland, I guess. Kane versus Bournemouth's pretty good, but I don't think you need him if you haven't got him already. You're looking at it the wrong way. Estepinian could wipe out the Kane clean sheet. True that. True that. Felix to Watkins seems okay, I think. I mean, is there anyone you need? It depends on what your team is, I guess. Probably not, though. March or Isak to start. Isak higher upside, but minutes risk. I think I would play Isak if you're feeling brave on the start. Sam, thank you very much. Reece, Tony to Haaland and Fernandes to Grealish for -4. I don't really like that, to be honest. But again, if you really want Haaland, that's your only route. Do it. Do it. So Haaland's a pretty popular captain. 58%. Watkins 50. Watkins still quite close to Rashford. I'm a little bit surprised at that, to be honest with you. No early team news, no. Estepinian or White? I think I'd start Estepinian ahead of Ben White. Praz and Sonaldo on Sky Sports at 10:50. Very nice. Estepinian or Botman? Yeah, great question. I don't know. I'm on Botman right now, but I don't know if it will stick. Tony to Haaland, Bruno to Odegaard, Marseille for -4. Again, don't really like it, but if that's your only way to get Haaland in, go for it. Nicola, James and Caparelli, do you think bringing in Chilwell for a -4 instead of playing Henry Dunk is a good move? 3 Chelsea defence. I probably wouldn't do that, no. I'd rather just see what happens with Lampard and Chelsea, how he sets them up and stuff like that. I'm away because Man United have been sold yet. I don't think so. Oh, you do not think so? Do. Oh, I see people comparing Estepinian and Botman. It'd be funny if Estepinian was benched now. Ray or Kappa? Answer on screen. Answers on the screen. Do I take Haaland in for Tony for a -4? Feel like it could finish me if I don't. Again, I just feel like if people want to get Haaland in for -4, they should just do it. And be less... to just not have to panic too much. Havertz to Watkins for a hit? Probably not. I still think Havertz will probably start, so I probably wouldn't do that. Have double Newcastle defence and Tony thoughts. You just got to play the players that are best in your team. So if the Newcastle defenders are better than the other defenders in your team, you should play them even if you've got Tony, right? You've got 6 midfielders, 3 Arsenal, 3 Brighton. Which 3 do you start? Well, I wouldn't start 3 from both teams, right? I would probably mix and match a bit. Probably Arsenal. Saka for a -4 and bench Tony. That doesn't sound great. If your opponent in the cup has Haaland and you don't, what are your options? I don't know, bring him in or don't bring him in. Ramsdale or Ward if he starts. Well, it's probably going to be Everson that starts, so I would just play Ramsdale. If Ward was definitely starting, then yeah, probably Ward, but... yeah, get Haaland. Do you know what? I hate to say it. I think I've got to take a toilet break. I'll be back in just a sec. I don't think I'm going to make it to the deadline, so I'm back in a minute. Better just mute the mic just in case. You don't get that on the BBC. You just don't get that on the BBC. I have what before anyone asks me. I've washed my hands. Someone always asks that. Anyway, apologies for that. Had to. I've obviously stayed too hydrated this morning. You get ads on the BBC. I should have rolled a few ads, shouldn't I? Hey, Andy's chat, should I start Havertz or March? I think the best thing is that the viewers, I don't know what viewers I was on before that, but they haven't dropped like mad. Like, it's still 8,500 people watching. It's mad. It's mad. What is life? It's so weird. Peroni or Moretti? Probably I don't know. Do you know what? My initial instinct was Peroni, but I kind of like him Moretti. I did wash my hands. It's still a little bit wet here. They like to the old COVID. While in the toilet, did you think about Felix to Watkins for a -4? I probably wouldn't do that. Would you do Kane to Haaland if that was the only way without a -8? I wouldn't want to take a -8. Or do it for Tony next week for a -4. I think I'd probably just do Kane to Haaland if it was me, because I'd be worried. I don't think it's a move you have to do, but I think it's one you can do. LFC Mike, how's it going? I'm 0.1 million off funding the Tony to Haaland transfer. Oh, that's harsh. Would you suggest a -4, Saka to Grealish and Tony to Haaland? PS, Ollie Watkins got the captaincy. If you're not captaining Haaland, do you really need to take a -4, especially with Saka out? Probably not. I don't know if I would do that. Tom Meany, 8 months member, thank you very much. Mac 10 to Saka to bench Bowen or Tony. No free hit for 32. Ooh. Who have West Ham got? Let me try and think. Who have West Ham got this week? I'm not looking at the chat. Who have West Ham got? I feel like I should know this. None of my players are playing West Ham, so it must be someone I don't own. Must be someone I don't own. I don't think any of my players are playing West Ham. It's not Leicester. Is it Fulham? Something like that? Fulham? Is it Fulham? Fulham away. Okay. I don't think I would do Mac 10 to Saka to bench Bowen or Tony. No, don't think so. I mean, obviously, Saka in for 32 looks good, but I don't know if you need to do it this week. Bowen against Fulham, Tony against Newcastle at home. I probably wouldn't. Got Watkins for Tony, Kai to Haaland for a -4. I probably would do that. People asking me about Arsenal lineup. I've got no idea. It's tomorrow. You're probably not going to find out. Haaland and Malacia in for Tony and Shaw for -4. I mean, Malacia is only going to be a starter until Shaw is back again, and that could be soon. So I don't know if I would do that. Henry or Eshapinian, done. I'm going to try this on for size. How do I feel about my team? Like, does that look better? Like, is Eshapinian so? It's like, I feel like sometimes you shouldn't go out of your way to try and find reasons to bench attacking defenders. And Eshapinian is an attacking defender, isn't he? 0.21 expected goal involvement per 90. Pretty good. Watch Chilwell, for example. Chilwell this season, not played as many games, I guess. 0.26. I wouldn't bench Chilwell for this game, would I? Should I bench Eshapinian? It's not saved. It's not saved. Just trying it on for a few minutes. See how it feels. Yeah, Marta isn't a bad option if you need a cheap Man United defender. I wouldn't go Malacia now. Salah to Grealish and Tony to Haaland for a -4. I think I would just keep Salah, especially if you're on free hit 32. You're probably going to want him for 34 anyway. Comes down to your fear Kane or Tony more. I think you don't necessarily fear either of them, really. I think Brentford is an easier fixture than Spurs, probably. I don't know. They're both playing at 3 PM as well. So Spurs, it's on in Ireland as well. The game is on. I don't know if I'm going to be able to watch it. I don't know if I'm going to be in to watch that game. Do I want to watch it? Do I want to watch my Eshapinian clean sheet go? So we'll know by 5 o'clock whether this was the bad move or not. Tomorrow I've only got Odegaard. That's it. One player tomorrow. So I'm going to know how good my green arrow is today, probably. Or red arrow. Jesus, why did I say green arrow? That's jinxed now. Klopp said Arteta said yesterday that Saka's fine, so he should be available. He was only ill, like he was ill when he came on. I really wouldn't be worried about Saka. Nah, I'm not playing March over Odegaard. Oh, excuse me. Henry attacking as well, though. I don't think he's quite as attacking as Eshapinian. Glyn, member for 9 months. Thank you very much. Tony Isak to Haaland Kane, captain Haaland. Yeah. Tony Isak to Haaland Kane. Surely you're not doing both of those moves though, right? Or am I missing something? Mr. Chris, thank you very much. John, do I play Saka or Ferguson? Probably Saka. Jeez, apparently Ricardo is right wing today. No shooter. I wonder if that's confirmed. Did I dream or did you used to be able to play two at the back in FPL? There was an all-out attack chip where, like, 1 week you could play 2-5-3. Yeah, look, March might be better than Odegaard, but I've made the decision. I don't think there's it's like I said yesterday on Final Thoughts. I really try and just reduce the amount of decisions I've got to make. And I feel like Odegaard and March is so close that I've put Odegaard in. I just don't see a huge reason to swap it, so I'm just not going to worry about it. Like, March could outscore him, but I just don't think it's that much of a bad decision to play Odegaard, so I'm just not going to worry about it. Botman and Estupini, I think, is a bit different, because I do think there's a chance both concede. I'm not sure, though. I'm really not sure about that one. Dan, first super chat, thank you very much. Alex, start Botman or Estupini. I mean, I can't help you with that. I don't know. I'm currently on Botman, but there is part of me that just thinks they're both going to concede, so just play the more attacking defender. Maddison or Tony? Ooh, I think I would want to play Maddison against Bournemouth at home, to be honest. The rumour about Ricardo Pereira is he's going to play right wing, but it's not confirmed or anything like that. But if anyone's hoping for early team news, I don't have anything. That is not confirmed, by the way, Ricardo. So yeah, I mean, I wish I had Madison this week as well. Bournemouth at home. I'm just glad I didn't have him for 29. Not that Fernandes did any better. Remember, a lot of people were saying that. Oh, instead of Fernandes, you should go for. Instead of Fernandes, you should go for Madison. They both ended up blanking twice. Andreas versus West Ham or Havertz? Havertz over Andreas, I would say. My only fear is Southampton are City's bogey team. They tend to do well against them. Could happen. It could happen. And look, I think Rashford against Everton at home is pretty good. I'm just too afraid of Haaland, to be honest. So I'm just going to go with him. How am I getting Salah? I'm going to sell Kane in Gameweek 34. Why is no one captain Kane? Some people probably are captain of Kane. Tony to Haaland, Saka to Andreas, -4. I don't really like that, to be honest. I don't think so. But again, if you want to get Haaland, that's your only route. Do it. I own Ricardo. Should I start him and hope he's right wing? I mean, Leicester have got Bournemouth at home, so you can start him for sure. It depends who else you've got, right? It's probably not a huge amount of defenders that you need to play ahead of him. You're transferring Alvarez rather than Haaland. Is it too risky? I mean, it depends if you think Alvarez is going to start. I think Haaland's going to start, but who knows? Who knows? We're all just guessing. Have 5.1 in the bank. Haaland for Ings and Shaw for another defender. To be honest, my 11 looks good as it is, but wondering if I should get in a City player. You don't need to... Like, Ings to Haaland is a great move. I don't think you need to get rid of Shaw unless your defence is completely awful. Get your transfers in. The site is beginning to lag. People waiting for Haaland news. We ain't going to get it. Where's the early Man United news? It's usually always leaked. Maybe get it in 5 minutes. Kane to Haaland -4. I probably wouldn't take a 4-point hit for that, no. Kane to Haaland for free, sure. -4, probably not. I accidentally confirmed a team on -12 instead of cancelling. Ouch. I've done that before, right, for screenshots for like Twitter, where I've like set up transfers just as like mostly like as a joke, but I always worry that I'm going to hit the confirm button by mistake. Who the captain? Saka or Maddison or Rashford or Watkins? Rashford out of those, I'd say. RPB Music member for 29 months. Thank you very much. Also reminds me, I think we're very close to a member that's like is about to hit 5 years. That's crazy. 5 years. Imagine that. It wasn't even called YouTube members back then. I can't remember what it was called. Watkins or Rashford captain? I'd say Rashford ahead of Watkins for me. Like, if I don't captain Haaland, then I probably would have captained Rashford instead. Maybe I should. I don't know. I think I'm going to stick to Botman. Am I just thinking about swapping Botman for Estepinian just because I've got nothing else to do? Maybe. JB17 first super chat. Thank you very much. Watkins or Rashford captain? Rashford. Way it is. Make sure to give the stream a like if you're enjoying it. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Be muchos appreciated. Buy Salah or Haaland if no free hit. It's probably got to be Salah, to be honest, but good luck with that. Richard, is it better to stick with Kane, Tony and Isak as no free hit for 32 or Haaland and 10? I'd probably go Haaland and 10, to be honest. As long as it's not Kane that you have to sell. If you can sell one of the other ones for free to Haaland, I would probably do it. Which three to play out of Trippier, Botman, Estepinian and Henry? Probably the first three. Estepinian gets an assist every 7th game week. Game week 7 now. No way! Come on, don't start giving me stuff like that. I can't be using that to as a reason. Transfer out Tony or Havertz for Haaland. I'm gonna say Havertz and hope that Tony doesn't get his yellow. Do. Ooh. Do I think Haaland starts? I think yes, but there's obviously a chance that he doesn't, right? I mean, for those of you not getting Haaland in, you might get to half 4, see the team sheet, no Haaland, happy days, right? Happy days. Okay, I think we're coming. Whoa, I think we're coming back. We're coming back. I think we're back. Are we back? It looks good. We're back. Honestly, I can't. What did I say earlier? What did I say at the start of the stream? We're not in the shed. There's no internet issues. Now I've said that, the internet will probably go. The internet will probably go. Hang on, I'm just going to have to... Just send a tweet out a sec. Okay. Which three to play out? Oh yeah, did that one. Tony and Kane to Haaland and Jesus for -4. Lads, what is going on? What is going on? FML. FML. What do we do now? Do we just wait for the next time it goes down? It's so annoying. So annoying. So Paddy has tweeted odds on FPL and said they've got the he's got the full lineup, won't share it for obvious reasons, but there's no worries for FPL players. Rashford starts as striker today. I don't think that really changes too much. We kind of had an idea that might happen anyway. It's probably the same lineup as Brentford. I doubt there's many changes to it in terms of the front four. Anyway, we're back. Hopefully that's it now. Imagine if I get early team news and then it goes down again. I think Mark Goldbridge is saying that Maguire is starting. Be interested to see whether Varane's got a problem or if he's just on the bench. By the way, if I've missed any super chats, I apologise. They keep disappearing when the internet goes down, but I think they're all back. Ramachandran, love the content, thank you very much. Free hit in 32 with Salah on without Haaland now, second in the mid-league on Rashford captain, Salah to a midfielder and Tony to Haaland for -4. I probably wouldn't do that. I guess if you need someone similar price, maybe someone like Grealish. Bench Martinelli or March. Me, Dunk or Botman to start with Mings and Trippier. I'm going to say Botman. Am I sticking with Haaland captain? I think so. I'm too afraid to do anything else. Plus, you know what Gandhi said? He said never back the early kickoff, and that's when Rashford's playing. Also, I don't think Rashford playing as a striker makes him a better option for what it's worth. I don't think it makes him a massively better FPL option. I think it's actually better for Man United in general. But I don't think it necessarily makes him like massively better. See, it sounds like it's going to be a similar team to Brentford, which I think most of us expected anyway. Bench one of Mac 10, Matoma, Solanke or Bruno. I'm going to say Solanke or Mac 10, and I'm going to say Solanke. I think I've stuck to that most of the way through. Chris Matthews, thank you very much. Maguire at left back, probably. I mean, maybe it's Varane, Maguire, Martinez left back, but it seems very unlikely. Seems very unlikely. Hello. We're back. Okay, we're back. The mic went then. There's like a green square that tells me that I'm live and that the internet is good, and then all of a sudden it goes red, and I just wait a couple of minutes and it comes back. Like sometimes it just goes and it destroys the stream. But yeah, not good. Apologies. Kind of sucks. I don't know if it's probably not going to get better in the next 10 minutes. I'm not going to bother trying to jump on the phone. I just don't see the point for the last kind of 8 minutes. We're not going to get any major news, I don't think. But we'll see. Bench Mings or Odegaard? Mings. Poor reception in Galway. Oh, it's just annoying. It'll probably go down again now. It's probably going to be an issue with the internet all day. It's been a while since I've had internet issues at home. Really annoying. Martinelli or March? I'm going to say Martinelli. I probably said March yesterday. I'm just going to say Martinelli. I think he starts. Also, I just realised the captaincy poll is still going. So we've had 15,000 votes. Rashford 59%. Huge. Start Bowen or March. March, I think. Haaland in for Kane on free transfer. If you want to do that, you should do that. Mac 10 or Tony, I think. With Rashford playing up top, could that mean Fernandes playing 10? I don't think it makes a difference, to be honest. It's probably going to be a similar setup to last time. So Sancho will be in, so will Anthony. I don't know the team, but this is what I'm guessing. And then then a midfield three of Fernandes, McTominay, and one of Fred or Sabitzer. But it doesn't mean that Fernandes will be playing number 10, to be honest. It could just be that, you know, someone like Fred or Sabitzer is ahead of him and he's kind of in that deep line role to progress the ball. So we'll have to wait and see. I think against Everton that could happen because of how good compared to the rest of the team. That, like, I think Everton's strongest point is probably their midfield. There is sound. I can see that there's sound. Any news about Haaland? 0 bits of news about Haaland. We've only got 5 minutes left, but in that time the internet will probably go down. If it goes down, I'm just going to stay on till 11 now. If it goes down, I'll just wait for it to come back up. I can only apologise. It's freaking annoying. Eriksen to play. I think it's very unlikely, right? Eriksen's been out for... When did Eriksen last play? He hasn't played since like game week 21, which was... I guess it's not like he's been out for like half the season, but it was since the end of January. So the chance of him coming straight back in and starting seem very unlikely. I feel like lots of people have probably got the Man United team news and they don't want to share it. I feel like if Eriksen was starting, they probably would have shared that news, but who knows? Rolls. Oh, another episode. Tony or Matoma? Tony, I think. Play Salah or Havertz? Salah, easy. 17 months member, thank you very much. Yeah, Maguire starts. Yeah, I've seen that. Shaw to Dallo. I wouldn't get Dallo. There's every chance that Wan-Bissaka gets minutes. So I probably wouldn't do that. Own. The women, the silver. Also, if Shaw was starting, I'm sure they would have told us that. Because that would be big for the numbers. Maguire, Malacia, and Anthony start for Everton. For Man United against Everton, yeah. Oh, Wan-Bissaka starts today. There you go. Don't go for Dallo. Scott McTominay remains in midfield. Jadon Sancho remains in the front three. So it's probably going to be Rashford. It's probably going to be exactly the same. Rashford, Anthony, Sancho, Fernandes, Scott McTominay, one of Fred or Sabitzer, and so Fernandes might be playing a little bit deeper again, to be honest with you. So if you're worried about that, I mean, if you're brave, you could play your Brighton midfielder ahead of Fernandes, but all it needs is one penalty. It's a bit of a shame it's the early kickoff though, because if we know Fernandes is blank, then you're going into the 3 p.m. kickoffs with Solly March about to play. Do I do? Just glad that Maguire starts. Guaranteed clean sheet. Guaranteed clean sheet. I just don't I don't know if I'm prepared to play March ahead of Fernandes. Who is anybody, right? Let me know in the chat. Has anybody switched to Rashford with that news that he's playing up front? I just don't think it makes him like that much of a better FPL player, but I think he's a great captain this week anyway. We could be massively regretting not going for Rashford in 2 hours' time. Most people haven't. Who is playing with Maguire then at the back? Presumably it's Martinez, right? It's going to be Wan-Bissaka, Maguire, Martinez, and Malacia. Right, this is my team. I think I'm gonna play Botman ahead of Estepinian just because of the clean sheet odds. I think that's it. I don't know if. Oh, I'm not gonna be able to look it up in time. I don't think much has changed on that front anyway. I think he's probably better off the left. I do think he's got better in that position though, up front. Pick 3 of Rashford, McAllister, Anthony, or Maddison. I'd probably bench Anthony out of those, to be honest with you. Is anybody benching Fernandes? Because they're worried he's going to play deep. I just don't think I can bring myself to do it in case he plays a bit more advanced today. Also, the lag is getting terrible. Computer lag for some reason. I think I'm locked in. I think I'm just going to stick. Doesn't matter. We're locked in now anyway. Botman starting, Estepinian bench. I might regret that. Might regret it. We're locked in. Thanks for sticking with me through the internet issues. Luckily, it looks like they've gone now, just as the deadlines come. Rashford injured coming off the team bus. Well, at least I get to play March, I guess. Always go different captain to me. I mean, I don't know why people always say stuff like that, but like, I literally had Rashford captain last week. Great. I had Saka captain the week before. He got 18 points. I had Tony when he got 13 points in the double in 27. There you go. We're locked in. I can't remember who I had in game week 26. I wildcarded that week, so it wasn't Salah, was it? Alright, people. If you haven't already, make sure to give the stream a like before you all jump off. Hit that subscribe button as well. I guess we look forward to later on seeing whether Haaland starts or not. It will be interesting to see. You captain Maguire, good luck. Bullet header incoming. Bullet header incoming. Drop Matoma for Tony to keep Fernandes in. Ooh, let's hope he gets a penalty today then. Alright. 11 players today. Mrs. How good times. Enjoy it. 8 months member. Thank you very much. Bullet header from Tarkowski. Maybe. You remember when we went through that phase of thinking Tarkowski was now going to score every game? Alright, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you very much for watching. If you haven't already, please do give it a like. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Good luck this week. We'll obviously be back for the knee-jerk stream on Sunday as normal. All games will be finished by then. We'll have just watched Liverpool versus Arsenal, so hopefully Saka blanks. We'll see what happens. Hopefully Odegaard somehow gets like a 15-point haul. That would be nice. But yeah, enjoy the weekend, and I will catch you on tomorrow. See you then.